I was at MystiCon 2018 in Roanoke, Virginia, and I tracked down Rob Richmond of the Vailix. I'm Travis Sivart, host of Talk the Tavern. Be right back with that interview.
Talk the Tavern. Here you're always welcome.
Take 2 steps back again so it shows his logo. Okay, we're going.
It's a little close. It's a little nostrils.
Extreme close up. Extreme close up.
Okay.
Okay, are we going?
Yeah.
They never tell me these things.
That's right.
Okay, I'm Travis Sivart with Talk to the Tavern, and I am here with, go ahead and introduce yourself. Tell them what you do.
My name's Rob Richmond, and I am the songwriter for the band The Vailix, but I'm also the author of the Vailix Associated comic book series, The Tales of the Cloud Ocean, as well as the...
Plug for MystiCon.
And the Forever Gone card game. All one world, all tied together through story, music, and game.
Oh, and when we are done, I do want to talk about the card game.
Absolutely, we'll talk all about it.
And last night was the first time I had ever heard of them, and we went and watched them. Great show. Great strong female vocals, and it's like the good 80s metal.
He's not the female vocals, though.
No, he's not. Well, I'm sure he can do whatever he wants. Okay, so let's get to the questions. So, would you prefer snipe hunting or hunting the wampus?
I'm a snipe hunter. I grew up in Virginia, in Stanton, Virginia, and we definitely went out in the woods.
A lot of snipe hunting.
A lot of snipe. The snipe is rife in Rockbridge County and in Augusta County. So
Almost an epidemic of snipe.
it is a snipe epidemic.
So, Lord of the Rings or Game of Thrones?
Oh man, that is you're cutting me in half with that one. That's the television adaptation of Game of Thrones is fantastic cinematically.
Right.
Stephen Jackson's Lord of the Rings is undeniable.
And I like the board games from the 80s too.
Yes. Different Stephen Jackson. Peter Jackson. Peter Jackson. Sorry.
Oh, I've heard of that guy.
I've got games on the brain. I've got
Steve Jackson games. Thumbs up for that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan.
Paranoia.
GURPS was my first experience.
Do you remember
in
Killer?
role-playing.
It's a book how to shoot your friends with a banana before Nerf guns existed. So you would like have assassination assignments in school
With a banana?
with a banana or a piece of paper that says boom, and you hide it.
Perfect.
Okay, sorry. Let's move on.
Uh,
Hey, tabletop role-playing games or video games?
I am a tabletop guy. I much prefer. I've got a small collection. I've got like Pandemic. I've got. I just recently found a game called Chrononauts that I thoroughly enjoyed. It's a card game that's an alternate future. Like you're a time agent. You're trying to correct the future. It's a fascinating game, but I love the idea of sitting across a table from somebody, having a real conversation with a person, drinking real beers with them, and throwing down actual cards, and it's just, there's something about it.
And if anybody complains about a video game not having an open world, go to a tabletop role-playing game. Open world.
That is, yeah.
Yeah. You can play with any of the environment.
Yeah.
Okay, tell me something that fires you up, gets you riled up and going.
Now I'm blanking. I have no motivation.
Apparently not me.
No motivation. No. I'm a musician by trade. I'm a professional musician. When I wake up in the morning, I put on NPR. I listen to zero music. I love listening to people talk about really cool ideas because it fires up my imagination.
TED Talk guy?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
Let's see here. What's your favorite musician in your genre?
Coheed and Cambria. In fact, they're one of the big inspirations for the Vailix in that they were the first band I ever heard that tied the narrative into the music and had the accompanying comic book, Amori Wars, which is connected with the Coheed and Cambria brand. And they were the first band that I've seen them 3, 4, 5 times live, and every time I see them, it's like a different story. It's just so good, yeah.
I'll have to check them out. I haven't heard of them.
Highly recommended.
That's one of the reasons I put that question in here,
Perfect.
so I get more
Yeah, you're
music.
right.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay, name one place in the world or universe, you can go
Sure,
fictional,
okay.
that you'd like to perform at.
Oh man, I'd love to perform at the restaurant at the end of the universe.
Baby, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if there's no other place to be, you know.
Think of broad spectrum geekdom.
Yeah.
Go-to karaoke song?
I think if I had to do it, I would pick something in the baritone range, maybe like Tales of Days of the New,
Okay.
kind of in that baritone range,
Or anything
Crash Test
Stevie
Dummies.
Nicks.
Stevie Nicks, all the Stevie Nicks stuff, absolutely.
Baritone,
Yeah.
So what Smurf would you be? And you can make up your own.
I would be workaholic Smurf. I would be designer, writer, gamer Smurf.
And he was in the show. We just never saw him because he was busy.
Yeah, I was actually running the cameras and actually moving the sets around on that show.
So Ghostbusters, original,
Absolutely.
new, or animated?
Original Ghostbusters. I mean, there's no question. In fact, in my top 5 movies of all time, Ghostbusters ends up in the top 2 with Contact, Carl Sagan, Jodie Foster, and those are my top 2. Ghostbusters and Contact. It depends on if I'm being a serious day or a fun day.
So where's Ghostbusters 2 rank on that list?
Ghostbusters 2 is not the worst.
No, it's not.
But it is the worst retelling of the original Ghostbusters.
I could go with that. Favorite cartoon character ever?
Oh man, Batman from the Batman the Animated Series.
Oh, nice.
I mean, that's,
Yeah.
Oh, the animation. Okay,
yeah,
gotcha.
I mean that old school gritty detective comic Batman. That's my Batman.
Sounds good. I like that. Favorite music genre?
That's a funny thing. So, as a musician, I take a little bit of everything. But recently, and this is going to sound like a weird answer, I apologize, but I highly
Probably
recommend.
gonna love it.
Ancient Egyptian and ancient Babylonian music
Oh,
is
interesting.
turning my crank right now. When I listen and I'm creating a world and I want it to feel otherworldly, I need to listen to music that takes me out of the Western music.
Gotcha. Where do I go to
space.
find that?
YouTube.
It's YouTube.
Yeah, just go to YouTube, ancient Babylonian music, and then you usually get like an hour or more of like random stuff. It is
I'll have to look it up.
fascinating.
When I write.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. Are you a city mouse or a country mouse?
I'm definitely. I'm in a weird spot. So Charlottesville is big enough to be interesting, but small enough to be cozy.
Right.
And it's not country mouse, but it isn't city mouse.
Very true.
My family lives in a smaller town. I love visiting, but I wouldn't want to live there. And then I have tons of friends who live in New York and Boston, and like great to visit, but I wouldn't want to live there.
Ambivert mouse.
Ambivert mouse, yes.
That's a superhero name too. What did you want to be when you were growing up?
I wanted to be a musician.
Nice.
I mean, period. And I started as a poet, as a writer, and then I found it was very difficult for me to get people to read my poems. But if I put my poems to music, I could be in a room with hundreds of people, and they're all listening to me, to my poetry. So that was my leap into music.
Tell me your favorite way to eat a hot dog.
I don't eat hot dog. I'm vegetarian.
There we go. So, have you ever had a tofu dog?
Yes. Yeah.
And how are they?
They're fantastic. Yeah, I mean that make
How do you
sound
think?
like a lie for me.
You say so.
Tofu dog. There's a place in Austin, Texas called Frank.
Okay.
If you're in Austin, go to Frank. They have a tofu dog, but it's called the Southern Belle, and they put fried green tomatoes and a remoulade on top with like a coleslaw-y kind of thing.
Fanciest hot dog ever.
Oh,
I tried. I tried. It's okay. Let's see here. We got that one. So from your past, what personal inspiration? Name somebody who is a personal inspiration. So not somebody famous, but somebody from your life.
Sure. That's my dad. It's hard. It's weird growing up in a family where my dad never really got my music, but he was the guy that was always like, if you're gonna start something, finish it.
Good advice.
And as a creative, I take that to heart. Every project I start, like, there's a plan. It's not just flights of fancy. It's like, if I'm going to do this, if I'm going to put my time and effort into it, if I'm going to ask other people to take it seriously, I need to follow through.
Listen up to that advice. That's good stuff. So, PlayStation, Xbox, or a Wii?
I actually do Steam on my. Yeah, I'm not a console guy.
I didn't even put.
Yeah, I
Computer.
play computer. I play on Steam. I love the idea now that you don't have to own a console, so it's not like you have to be beholden to one brand or another. I love the idea that like everybody can go online.
Good with that.
Steam, yeah. I'm like open source. I love the open source world.
So, tell me one place you'd love to visit.
I'm looking forward to, in the near future, going to Hawaii. I've never been to Hawaii. But I studied Southeast Asia and the Asia Pacific when I was in school. I would love to go to China. I think China would be like going to the Forbidden City and actually...
Who was it we just spoke to that they said they were going to Beijing or something?
Oh,
I think it might have been Bella Morte. So
Bella.
maybe
It was.
carry their luggage.
Well, I'm
Back
just
up.
going to sneak into their
There you
luggage. They've
go.
got big luggage.
They do. It goes with their personality.
That's right.
I think they were fun.
More personality than brains, I think.
They would agree with you.
I know.
They wouldn't argue that.
I don't feel bad saying
No.
that.
Tell me one item from your bucket list.
Wow. I need, well, oh, man, that's a pointed question. I think about, this is just really morbid. I think about death a lot. I think about mortality. I'm almost 40. I've never been married.
Wow, you look great, man.
Thank you.
The skincare?
Yeah.
Vegetarian?
Vegetarian is part of it, yeah.
Could be.
A lot of water.
That's true.
I do bathe in blood. That helps too.
It does.
I'd love to raise a kid. I mean, that's something that I know a lot of people sort of do, and it's not really part of a bucket
I have
list
one
necessarily.
you can
I
raise.
can take one.
We have kids we can pass over. Hold on, we'll get one.
But you know what I mean? Like, there's something
Yeah.
about that that's like there's a legacy thing there that for me, you can create all the things you want. Time will take those away from you. But there's something about having a kid and having your thoughts and your hopes and your dreams passed down. And
But the thing with the kid, puberty takes them away from
yeah, I know.
They come back a few years later, though.
I'm on the fence about it, but I think that would
No,
be
no, that's-
just the experience of it. I think would be.
It's
that's
so
the
rare
part.
to
It's
find
not the
somebody-
kid; it's the experience.
It's so rare to find somebody that goes, no, I purposely want to be a parent
Yeah,
for that reason. It's almost noble,
Yeah.
as opposed to look, oopsie.
yeah.
Okay. What advice would you give to the younger generation?
There's the thing I say. Everybody comes up and talks to me at the young people who come up. And they ask me like, how do you do the thing? How do you do the stuff? How do you do this? There's no substitute for doing the work. You have to show up. You have to do the work. As a workaholic Smurf, I can't like. I use a Google Calendar. I schedule my time. Time management is key to being able to do the work, but it also allows you to schedule time to do your own stuff and do your own life. You have to have that balance.
This
to
whole
some
interview
degree.
is like life lesson. That is very good stuff there, absolutely. So what advice would you give to your younger self?
Oh man, start earlier and fail faster. That is
Fair advice?
Yeah, I mean, I heard that it's kind of a truism, I guess, but there's, I heard that in like a TED Talk, I think,
Right.
Or on NPR somewhere, but it was fail faster. The idea of get out there, put it out there, get the advice, get the criticism, don't take it to heart. It's not personal. They're not attacking you, they're trying to make what you do better.
Yeah. Even if they are attacking you, you can use it to make yourself
Absolutely,
better.
yeah.
Because you have incited emotion in somebody, and that's what you're aiming for.
Yep.
Might not have been the one you wanted, but there's a reason.
Yep.
Sorry to work with you.
Not
I like the advice that you're giving.
Spot on.
Okay, favorite article of clothing?
Pants, probably. I know that's weird. I know a lot of people don't say that, but I actually really enjoy
I
wearing
haven't
a good
asked
pair of
many people
pants.
that.
Socks, brand new. I'm going to take my pants thing
Off.
back. I'm going to take my pants off that list. A brand new, like fresh out of the bag pair of socks that you've like never worn.
They're like walking on new shag carpet, aren't they?
is.
I'm on the moon.
I know. I have this dream. I know. Now I'm getting into weeds with the socks thing.
Okay.
I have this dream because I know that socks, and this is kind of weird. Socks are like the most requested thing by Salvation Army and people, homeless shelters and things like that, like socks. And what I know, and this is going to sound really weird, I want to give socks to people.
No,
Because
that doesn't
that's like
sound
one of
weird
the,
at all.
you know what I mean? Like,
Well, socks are so important, whether you're military or whatever.
Bombas do that, in fact, yeah. And you buy a pair, they donate a pair, and that is, I mean, change the world, man. Like find that one way. Like companies like that, find a way to change the world. But I love socks.
No, I get it. Okay, so what's your stance on Crocs?
I'm not even really sure. I mean,
He's got some deep-seated emotion about this.
yeah, I mean, they've been around for millions of years. They evolved from the dinosaurs. I've refused that Crocs refers to anything other than a leathery beast that might pull me to my death at the bottom of a river or a lake. Yeah, I'm just, I wouldn't wear them. I wouldn't try wearing them. I wouldn't recommend it.
It'd be a tough choice to where to put the foot in.
Yeah, exactly. You're up to here, and then you're up to here. Yeah.
Isn't that a Shel Silverstein poem?
Yes.
Okay, Star Wars or Star Trek?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't split hairs. My science fiction, I'm an equal opportunity geek out.
Very good.
I love the fantasy elements of the original Star Wars, and even the current Star Wars series. I think is doing a fantastic job of carrying the torch, a little bit of the sort of original spirit of the writing. But there's something about Gene Roddenberry's vision of the future, a very utopian future, that I love the idea of.
I understand.
You know, like I get fascinated by these worlds that people create, and to be able to get lost and have a world where like people just work together, and like particularly Next Generation,
Right.
where it's like we're not using our phasers. You don't pull your guns on people. You talk it out.
Right.
Like diplomacy above every is the
And if you
above
can
every-
live life that way,
Absolutely.
if you individually could do it,
Yeah.
change the world.
Yeah.
Okay, so what's your favorite character from either Star Trek or Star
Oh,
Wars?
man.
Pick one.
Okay, I gotta pick one. Jean-Luc Picard is, the iconic, level-headed super captain. But Captain Janeway from Voyager is probably my favorite. Hard-boiled, tough cookie, tough under fire. Didn't take crap from anybody, but still had this great heart of a captain that you need in a Star Trek universe.
Hey, you were talking about them earlier. Huh? We were talking about you earlier. Quick, cameo.
You guys remember Tony?
There you go.
I was actually looking for. I wanted to see if he had a hand truck I could steal.
Give me 30
I do.
seconds.
I'm in the van.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
my bad.
absolutely.
I think
Okay,
I see
we'll
a
finish
thing
this
over
up
there.
and then we can go
No,
play with Tony.
No, you're good.
Watch your luggage, Tony. Watch your luggage.
I'm sneaking in your luggage.
That's okay. You come on, man.
Okay, so what's the latest project you completed?
The comic book, actually. I'm going to grab it real quick.
Yeah, there we
this
go.
is chapter 1 of the Tales of the Cloud Ocean series. Is book 1 of likely 10 or
Now,
so.
what do you do in this, right?
I'm the
Art, what do you
author.
do?
I'm the author of the story. I collaborate with an illustrator from Poland named Jacob Wojciechowski, who is killer, and a coloring artist named
I like the colors.
Eleonora Della Rosa is unreal. Like some
Look
of
at
these
some of that.
some of these colors are just she's just unbelievable. The textures in the sky, like so subtle. You know.
Right.
Anyway, we can sit here and read the comic while they're watching.
That's a different video.
Yes, but this is the most recent completed project. The next project we're already working on.
That's the next question. What's your next project you're
We're working
on?
on issue 2 concurrently with recording the next EP for the Vailix.
Very cool.
It's the workaholic Smurf in me that I can't sit still. I have to be moving forward.
Now, we have one more question.
Okay.
But we haven't mentioned the
Okay,
card
stuff.
game. So
Sure.
do you want to do a quick thing on that? So
I'd be happy
these
to.
folks listening and watching?
Yeah, so we got the card game is the Forever Gone is sort of plays kind of like Magic the Gathering, but it's a wholly it's wholly owned system. I designed the game. I'm the game designer. It's how I met my lead artist for the comic book, Jacob, along with 9 other artists from all over the world who collaborated to make the artwork for it. It's I've loved working with people. It's fantastic working with artists because they push you in new directions. They send you art and you're like, wow, what am I going to do with that? Like, how do I incorporate something this awesome into this world? Yeah, so inspiration for that. The Vailix, obviously the music, and the comic book.
So music, comic, and games. So you get to interactive, visual,
Narrative, yeah.
audio. It's all. Okay, cool. Last thing, you could do one dream project. What would it be? What's your dream project?
Oh man, I would love to do a movie version of this story. I've been living with this story in my head for 5 years. I see
Just
it
look
like
at that little bit of art.
yeah, I see it cinematically in my head, and so there's something about. There's a great quote from Alan Moore who says, "If you imagine graphic novels or comic books as a movie that doesn't move, then that is all it will ever be. And in the mind's eye of the writer, everything is moving. Everything,
Right.
Yeah. So the comic book, while it is an extension of the story, and it's the most accessible medium to me financially,
Right.
to do a legitimate movie based in that world.
So James Cameron, call the guy. He's got something that can franchise like Avatar, but totally different.
Yeah, it's a whole different thing.
So there
Yeah.
we go. Okay. My pleasure. Thank you very much,
Yeah,
Rob.
thanks,
Appreciate
Rob.
it. And
Yeah.
after we disconnect from here, oh, by the way, make sure you subscribe and thumbs up for this guy. Check the description below for his links. And other than that, I want to talk to him about his stuff. So we're done here. I want to thank you for joining me for the interview. Hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions or comments, make sure you leave them below, and also subscribe to the channel so that helps support me so I could bring you more great interviews like this. Also, make sure you join me live every Monday night at 8 p.m. on twitch.tv/talkofthetavern for more shenanigans. Thank you.